CUB AFL 2001 Premiership season. What a mark! Live tonight at 7:30, the Kangaroos take on Sydney. Followed at 10:30 with the Bulldogs Collingwood encounter. Tomorrow afternoon, live at 2, the St Kilda West Coast clash. With the Fremantle Hawthorn battle right after at 5. Tomorrow night at 9:30, the local derby between the Crows and the Power. The CUB AFL 2001 Premiership season on C7 Sports.
Say the biggest crowd so far this year. And good night for footy, though, as Kevin Sheedy told Andrew Marr. The Jew will get on the ground by the look of it. Robert Walls, great to have you with us again here on Friday night. And there's an air of expectancy about, even though the Blues have got a few out.
Thanks, Bruce. Look, it is great to be here, and the MCG is fast filling up, and I can't wait to see what the matchups will be, because with players out, very interesting to see how it'll turn out.
So what about Hurd? Who do you think gets Hurd here?
I think James Hurd could get Simon Beaumont. Beaumont has played on him in the past. Andrew Mackay's a possibility, but Mackay's usually taken Mark Mercuri. You know, there's that many to cover. And Scott Camporeale, he's certainly the running midfielder that will cause the most damage against the Bombers. And I think Adam Ramanauskas, Justin Blumfield are two possibilities to play on him.
Thanks for that, Wolsey. Let's go down to the ground. He's already said hello and welcome, the Big Dipper.
Hello and welcome down the boundary line, Bruce. What a great night. The crowd is certainly building as we hear the first big cheer going up tonight. Just perfect conditions, not a breath of wind. The ground, MCG, A1, expect a fast game, boys.
Thanks, Dipper. Down there with Andrew Marr. The Blues kick to the right of screen. Beaumont's got Hurd.
Yes, Beaumont's gone straight to James Hurd, and we thought that might have happened. Interesting, Massey looks like he'll take on Lucas, and Glenn Manton looks like he'll take on Lloyd.
And McVeigh's got Camporeale.
Yes, well, that's a real challenge, and Kevin Sheedy could move that because it gives the kid a real challenge tonight in front of a big crowd.
It is a big crowd, and it's a mighty roar here. Can somebody stop the juggernaut? Wouldn't the Blues love to do it against all the odds? Porter to Ratton. We better say that a lot tonight. If the Blues are to have any chance, you reckon that'll be one of their best chances for both of those to dominate. Mackay gets it from Lappin and then kicks over the top to a vacant goal square. Solomon back. Good tackle, Hitmont. Interesting also, Dermott and Robert, that Henneman has got Whitnell, which, Wolsey, you said before the game you were hoping in a way you would.
I think that's a great move again, because Henneman's only played 11 or 12 games. Whitnell's a star forward, so great challenge.
Right forward pocket, Blues in attack. Wouldn't an early goal give them some hard here? Whitnell, who's had it laid down to him a bit during the week from a number of quarters, and a ball up about 30 metres out from the Blues goal.
Andy Mackay, he's on Mark Mercuri. We thought that may have happened, but Porter's the man with the big job, Derm. I don't know who will give him support. Perhaps Houghton as the game goes on.
Yeah. Whitnell, just front spot. Hickmott tried to check side, not quite. Handball out by Colpert. Ratton just couldn't get away, and Henneman goes to the line and finds it.
Robert Wars, what I noticed from down here is all the Carlton players gone man on man. There's absolutely no zones out here, so I expect that every Carlton player should have one bomber.
Well, Wayne Britton's obviously said we will make it a contest tonight. There won't be any spaces. It'll be one-on-one, so terrific.
You'd think with the men out, they'd love to contain them, wouldn't they? They'd love to keep it to a low-scoring match if that's possible against Essendon, in the sort of form they've been in over the last year and a half. Again, a boundary throw in.
I reckon they'd be pretty happy just to play pretty tight, packed football here. They don't want to get blown out of the water in the first quarter, at least.
And the Bombers have been so good at doing that, Dermott, of establishing their superiority on matches early on. Humes, handball. Hickmott, who started really well last week against Hawthorn, coughed it up a bit. McVeigh, Lucas, Houghton didn't put the tackle on, and they got away. And Mark Johnson's got a clever kick going here to centre wing. And the man they call the Bull Magnet's got it. I'm talking about Smokin' Joe, and he's kicking to the hot spot. And well done, Freeborn coming across. He's got some shorties out here, and he wants Ratton, and he finds him. Ratton low and wide. Hickmott gets it.
It's got Porter down the line. Go to the big fella.
Does. Kicks it about 55 metres. A couple of big flyers. Lappin, who had a touch early, cooked to full forward. Looks all right off the boot. Fletcher so hard to stop in those situations. McVeigh got rid of Camporeale well. Ramanauskas' little topo. Porter's kick a little bit off the side, right direction. Mansfield gets it out. Hume with a kick. Well weighted, a beautiful one. Mackay didn't take the mark. Johnson coming hard at him. Colpert in the pocket. This is it, Colpert, and it's just rolled off his foot for And out of bounds in the left forward pocket. The Blues have had a couple of chances.
Well, it's good play by him. He actually looked up and he wanted to have a blaze at the goals and hopefully the ball might run through, but he saw the Essendon player there and looked elsewhere and spotted up a pretty good one to Andrew McKay, who was unable to accept.
Whitnell and Barnes, just Barnes over the top. Lappin again, still with Lappin. He's pretty good around the goal. Centering kick to the front of the square. Freeborn and also Carosella. Ramanaskas had to search for it a bit, and then Mark Johnson. And in the end, it was a bit untidy, but I think they were pretty happy to concede the behind. So good patch here for the Blues, first couple of minutes.
Well, they've had it in their forward line for the only 3.5 minutes that we've had of the game, so good start.
That lead by Favola, which Fletcher spoilt like a half a minute or so ago, his closing speed on the last couple of paces, he gave him about a 2-metre start and just gobbled him up in the last 3 or 4 metres of the run.
Good effort, Freeborn. It's going to be paid. Barnes, I think, was the target coming over the top. He never quite got into it, and Freeborn's able to take the mark. A couple of kicks away from goal. To centre-half forward, Bombers numbers.
See, they're well drilled, aren't they? The numbers inside that defensive 50 for the Bombers. They know that they're favourites for this, and yet they still do the team discipline things early.
Carosella to Solomon, to Fletcher, to centre wing, Lucas. Handball accepted by Colpert, a bit up and under, and again the Bombers with numbers and Carosella to sweep at the back. What a versatile footballer he is, along with Blumfield. Finds Barnes.
Just got plenty of space out on this wing, Bruce. That's what they'll do, chip it to each other, use the space.
Wellman, the first one to accept. Neat kick, isn't it, to Mercury, found him.
They just don't panic in this situation. They wait, they look at the lead and then drop it in the path.
Goes for Long. We saw some of Long's great talents on display last week in his first game of the season. Pushes to full forward, lovely kick. Soft kick, wasn't it, to Lloyd?
It was just a weighted kick, but they've taken the ball from their back 50 into their forward 50 with about 4 passes that were all just pinpoint, no panic, just wait, let the player lead, put the ball soft in front, and you see Matthew Lloyd here, Derm, he's just waiting and waiting. No touch on him there with Manton, and he's really got to have touch on him.
Well, that's the thing with Glenn Manton at the moment. He realises his pace is leaving him at this end of his career, and what he's done is trying to play 5 metres in front and pick up the leading full forward Matthew Lloyd tonight on the chase through, and that's someone. It's a sign of somebody who's giving away a little bit of speed. And quite frankly, Matty Lloyd was wake up to it and waited till his head turned one way and he comes in the other side.
Tough first kick of the night, 52 metres out. Is it coming back? It's a pretty good kick. It won't score. It's punched through for a behind.
And I think Matty Lloyd, even though he's been in pretty good form, he'd be looking to kick goals early in the game because the last couple of weeks he's got them in the second half.
7 of his 8 goals this year have come in the second half. So Camporelli to kick it in.
13-man zone there for Essendon. Have got 13 men employed in that zone.
Chris Massey's an interesting choice at centre-half back, Dirk.
On Lucas, yeah. Lucas doesn't really hurt all that much in the air, so they need a runner to go with him predominantly. Got to give up some sacrifices when you play Essendon, Wolsey.
Carosella to Mark Johnson. Freeborn, a good tackle. And then Lucas and Ratton's got hold of him. I think it was Barker that stitched up Massey early last week, didn't he? And Beaumont went there.
The thing is, no disrespect to Scotty Lucas, he's a competent mark, but compared to some of the other blokes in their team who can mark, you then have to look at what you've got at your disposal, and Chris Massey's not strong in the air. You say, well, he's probably the least hurtful in the air, Scott Lucas, but he's still very good.
That was a terrific tap by Porter. Found Camporelli. Wants the boundary line, I think, in the end, and gets it.
Well, I think Porter, look, he'll play his heart out, the big fella, and that is his strength, his tap work in the ruck. He really is able to put it down the throat of the smalls at ground level, and Carlton's clearances the last 2 weeks have been very good. It's
a quietish start, isn't it, to a match that we thought could have anything going for it in the first few minutes. The Blues, Whitnell hooks it to centre-half forward. Can Lappin get there? Mark Johnson, Solomon. Well done, Lappin. He pushed it back, hoping that Favola might be in the right spot. Pretty good tackle for Favola. And then Mercedes Gate tackled and gone. And Camporelli gets a first shot for goal for the Blues.
Have a look at this one again. Yeah, Favola did well. I thought he was a bit disinterested. He let Fletcher lead him out to the ball, but Scotty Camporelli wrapped it up. And I suppose that's Joe Mercedes' confidence going a little bit overboard there.
Good man to have the ball. He'll kick from just outside 50, but he's a very good kick.
Good view behind him, isn't it? Runs out a bit to get the hook for the distance. He's kicked it very, very well. It won't quite get there. No mark at the back. Just taken over the line by Jacobs for a behind.
He made that a try in the end. He picked it up in two hands, no disposal. Just ushered the ball over.
Says a lot for getting big men down back, though, for those kicks, doesn't it? That was going all the way. And the Bombers able to hold it up as they hold... The Blues hold Whirlman up here in the heart of the centre square.
They've got a good tackle count at the moment, Carlton. They're really working on stopping Essendon moving the ball quickly. Now they've just got to stop them pinpointing the ball by foot. You're onto that one, Wolsey. They're just kicking it so well to each other still.
Hickmont back. So it's a rather poised start here by the Blues. The kick to half forward. Mark Johnson's unlucky. Lappin, little chip, clever. Well done to Ratton. They've kept their cool going forward, haven't they, Carl?
He did keep his cool there, and a lot of players would have been excused for bombing away, but he's played up around 100 games now, Matthew Lappin, and he just put it to Brett Ratton, who should goal.
Well, he's a lot closer than Camporelli, and he's put it through. The Blues get the first one. Well, it's a pretty good start, considering that they must have been shattered when they found out that Cooter and Sauce and Rattles weren't playing tonight.
And again, just a good spoiling attempt by the smaller Lappin. He was able to recover and pass it there to Ratton, who was able to nail it straight through the middle.
So the Blues through Ratton.
He's real stiff too, Mark Johnson, not to get the free kick. That holding the man rule that was at the start of the year in the pre-season, the third umpire didn't see that one from 5, and I could see it from 150.
Hume, quick kick away. Played smart so far, the Blues, haven't they? I know We're only going 10 minutes, but they've played smart.
And I think you picked it up, Dermot. They are making it a one-on-one contest all over the ground. We don't have players dropping back into space, extra men in defence, which we've seen in recent weeks.
Well, David Parkham will be pleased with all those one-on-ones. Centre wing. It was actually Dipper that picked it up. I hate Dermot getting the credit for Dipper. He got it for so many years.
Yeah, thanks, Dermot.
Hotton at half-back, took the mark.
I was going to let you go with it, Wolsey, too.
So Hotton a bit up and under this one. Porter again the target. He's presenting himself. Masidi to Mark Johnson. Good kick around the corner to Jacobs. Jacobs at centre wing. Delivers. Not bad off the boot. Lucas didn't quite make it in the end, and then Massey just left it, and Rice squeezes to the line and finds it. Just touched the ground, didn't it? I mean, it was a fair effort by Lucas. I think Massey did well too, just to let Rice take it, knowing he had Lucas covered. Carosella well played. This will be interesting if Long gets hold of it, and he does, and goes to McVeigh, and McVeigh just sprays it a bit. That's not a good result. And then a couple that are disappointed at centre-half forward, including Solomon. Didn't he have his coming-out party last week, McVeigh? It was like he'd arrived as a real AFL footballer.
And he also, but he did the hard things. He's always had that skill. He just did those hard team-orientated things.
Lloyd's given a free kick away, I think. So it's been a positive start for Porter. He'd be pretty happy. First tap of the night to Ratton. Now Camporelli on the sweep. Runs his fair measure. It's a good kick. Gave Massey the chance. Carosella. He's often the third man in that contest, Carosella, isn't he? Well played, Massey. And out. Favola inside to Colbert. Just has to hold it up. Now needs to deliver. And does beautifully to Favola. Oh, that was arrogant. Just played on at the wrong time, unfortunately. Had McKay coming for him and couldn't get it away. And Jason Johnson bundles us back. First time I called Hurd tonight, gets a free kick.
I thought you were very kind to him then, being arrogant. I thought it was just straight out dumb. Just not a good sense awareness of opponents around him.
Hurd to the pocket. He wanted Lloyd. Hickmont. Well played to McKay to Hickmont. Short to Beaumont. Well, they started well against the Hawks last week, led 4 goals to 1.
Yeah, he hasn't got much to go to. John Barnes just patrolling across centre-half back, so Carlton have got to go short.
Mansfield was the target, back to Freeborn, back to Mansfield. Good move inside, and then bangs long. The numbers are with the Bombers. Whitnell did well in the front. Unfortunately for him, it was too much for Hume. And Wellman gets it back to Barnes.
He's come the wrong way there, Barnesy.
Put Johnson under the gun, but he did well to Long. Rode out of it. Lappin's been busy early. Camporelli on the burst. Arches his back. Steady. 49 metres out. Wonderful stuff. Brilliant. Oh, doesn't that make you feel good when you watch something like that?
You just looked at him when he received the ball and thought he's going to get gobbled up here and he's going to have a shot on goal from a bit far out. Things are going against him. You just love it when a bloke says, I am here, I have got the ball to get it. You will have to chase me down and tackle me because I'm giving it all I've got in the motor. And he did. You called it. He arched his back and just sped away.
Terrific goal.
Yeah, great footy there. Mansfield off the ground, Fletcher in the middle.
Thanks, Dipper. Well, this is a promising start. Can they turn it into something more than promising? Masidi back to Johnson. Just a little one. So, just some signs, aren't they? Just some signs. Oh, Jason Johnson was strong. Rice had everything at him and couldn't get him. And now Rice's opponent goes away long. Not a good kick. It was in the right spot, but it was a floater and found Hickmott.
Yeah, and Hickmott's been the Carlton player who's basically playing across half forward. He's sneaking back into defence.
Can Rice take the mark? He does. That's a good mark.
I reckon Rice at 33 might think twice about hitting Mark Johnson again.
He came down pretty hard.
He sure did. McKay on the burst to Barnes. Blumfield.
Yeah, Barnes just patrolling back near Whitnell now, helping Henneman.
Mark Johnson. Good switch. Then down the line again. Jacobs, I think, a target. And also Mercury. Rice and Mercury. Oh, Rice did brilliantly. These old heads of the Blues are working at the moment. And now Houghton gets it from Freeborn and kicks to half forward. Whitnell outnumbered. He did pretty well to bring a couple down and the ball out.
Barnard about to come on, boy. Solomon coming off the ground, and we've seen Barnard kick many goals. Interesting to see where he lines up tonight.
Dipper, what's it like down there? Because the Bombers just seem a bit lacklustre.
Just perfect conditions, Robert. They're playing one-on-one football, just terrific.
What about the noise of the Bombers?
Well, the noise of the Bombers, there's absolutely nothing. You are right there. They are flat. They're expecting someone just to take on the game.
So Johnson's kick to Porter. Porter out wide. Almost to the line, and it is. Just a reminder, you saw the I7 tag a moment ago for all the updates on AFL action, everything else that's happening in sport. Log on to our website, i7sport.com.au.
Well, if they're flat for a few minutes, I reckon they might just decide to put James in there into the middle and win a couple of takeaways, and that could just give them a bit of spark.
And Wolsey, just opposite too, you can just see in Carlton's eyes, they've got a job to do, and man on man tonight, if everyone does it, when in most positions, they'll win the game.
Massey. Just a high tackle, he deserved it. Wellman broke 1-2 tackles to Long, to Masiti. Masiti's kick, wide, finds Barnard. They've been playing 16 minutes without a goal, the Bombers. I reckon that might be a record in itself. Finds Lloyd.
There's no contact there until the ball, well, until he's marked it.
This is the man who gives them a lift all the time. 4 goals in the grand final last year, 4 goals in round 1. He comes onto the ground and immediately has an impact.
Must love the MCG, Wolsey. He kicked 8 in his last 2 matches here.
Oh, he's just he just has a go. He's fit and he runs hard, and they can play him in any position. And again, an unselfish kick by Matthew Lloyd. He could have had a ping from where he was, but he just made it a little bit better angle for Paul Barnard.
So the Bombers up to 17 minutes without a first quarter goal. 45 metres out. Pretty good. He likes it. Well, I guess if it was ice hockey, you'd say goal to Barnard, assist to Lloyd.
Yes, it was most unselfish by Matthew Lloyd, and I'm a bit of a fan of Paul Barnard. Look, I don't think he's an underrated player now, Derb, but he actually spent some time with the Hawks.
Yeah, he actually was schooled as a full forward as well. He came over from Perth as a full forward from down near Margaret River.
Great kick, that.
He's got plenty of strings to his bow. He can play key position and he can play out on a wing. Very versatile.
Well, appropriate in a way that Barnard's the man who's got the first goal, because he has provided a spark for the Bombers. Hurd out to McVeigh. Inside 50. Masiti. Carlton can't let the Bombers get a couple of quick goals here after all the good work they've done in the first 15 minutes. Hickmott tied up. Ball comes out. Lucas on his wrong side. Well played. Smoke and Joe. 25 metres out. Caresses it home.
Got to say one thing about Joe Masudi. he uses staple diet. The rest of the team can gather around and say, well, there's 30 possessions for our midfield for a start, week in, week out. But what he does do, he sits back and he cheated off Ratton at the other end. Ratton kicked the goal for Carlton. And this time he went forward of the ball and cheated a bit on it, but he's rewarded.
I think his opponent now is Fletcher. Ratton's gone to half forward to have a bit of a spell for Carlton, and Michael Long's taken Ratton.
So that's just happened because Fletcher was on Blumfield in there, and when James Hurd's gone into the middle now, that's swung the whole thing awry.
Carlton realise they have to give Ratton a fair break. He's actually in the goal square for the Blues at the moment.
Yep. And Mercedes, there's Hurd and Beaumont. Mercedes 6 possessions, 1 centre clearance already in a goal. So he's accumulating, as he always seems to. Fletcher sweeps it, okay. Well done. Rice, clever kick. Favola.
Whitnell's one out.
Goes to him. Just pushed. No free kick. Long, Ramanaskas, Fletcher, got it.
Was that a free kick in the Ansett Cup series, that one on Whitnell? Touch and go then, wasn't it?
Love to see it again, wouldn't you? Not too sure about that, Dermot. It looked the push. Fletcher's kick to centre wing. Rice just pushed out Massey, well done. And then Hume to Porter. Dangerous kick, dangerous kick.
Yeah, he's not a great kick, Porter.
Blumfield to Hurd. Can they get them on the rebound here, the Bombers? Barnes sat and waited. He took it. Little give was clever. Mercedes well played. Jason Johnson. McKay cut it off. He was going to go short. Colpin had it for a while. Terrific hands. I was going to say terrific hands, McKay. It was fast. It was a throw.
Yeah.
And I reckon Blumfield will look to short the ball. They always look to give the short pass off here.
It was a throw. He goes to the pocket. Oh, wonderful mark, Lloyd.
What a great mark. That was a tough mark because he had Manton behind him and he had a Carlton player coming at the front, and it was the brave Hickmott, and he just had eyes only for the footy, full stretch, and a terrific pass again by Blumfield, but it's their go all the time.
Let's have a look at it.
He's just not putting enough pressure on Lloyd. An uninterrupted run at the footy.
Yep. Yep.
No Silvani repeating if you've just joined us. It's a big hole in the defence, isn't it?
That side-on shot of Matty Lloyd when he just marked the ball there, I can see that appearing on a swap gum card somewhere. That was beautiful. Oh, it looks fantastic the way he flew through the air.
What a young gun he is. As he pushed it back, it's good, he's got it. The Bombers suddenly in front. And that's what they can do to you. In 2 or 3 minutes, kick the score that has taken you 15 minutes to get.
Yeah. Set it up well, didn't it?
That's
a great kick.
Yeah, short and sharp.
And the thing is, he's seen the Carlton player floating back, Hickmott, who's had 7 possessions already, he's been good, and he's put it over his head without fear that, oh, that hole is blocked.
Yeah.
He knew that if he kicked it in that fashion, the forward, Matty Lloyd, on this occasion, could jump over the top.
And Ratton back into the centre square.
3 goals in 4 minutes for the Bombers in front for the first time. McVeigh dropped it. It's a good tackle. Camporelli gets it out. It wasn't pretty, but he got to centre half forward. Whitnell, Houlihan, steady, 20 metres out. The Blues are back in front. That's a good sign.
That's a very good goal. You can't teach players to do that. You can teach them to run at the contest, Wolsey, but you can't teach them to read it off the hands like that, and you can't teach them not to break stride like that. That's instinctive.
Well, he's read it to perfection, hasn't he? He hasn't got past the contest. He's just waited. It's come down and had enough confidence to carry the ball before unloading it. This young fella's a very talented player.
The only teenager out there tonight. Got the Norwich Rising Star vote against the Bombers in the blockbuster last year in round 20.
James Hurd in for this centre bounce. Beaumont's gone with him.
So the first big challenge for the Blues, they answered in a minute, didn't they? They came straight back. Let's see if they can go all the way here. Can they be with them at quarter time? Hurd already starting to have an influence in the centre to half forward. Jacobs, Lucas, just robbed. It was good play, I think, from Houghton. The ball comes back to Lucas, and then Camporelli was brave, stood his ground. Well, I think they're a bit stiff, the Blues.
This is where they're dangerous.
Look at Carlton now. They're being well drilled now. They have got nobody in their forward line. They're all inside defensive 50.
Doesn't get onto it, but it goes straight to Banfield.
Well, it's amazing, isn't it?
Hey?
What was amazing, though, James Hurd went in for that centre bounce. There were 2 or 3 fumbles, and he just took advantage of it. He was the one who roosted it out. And Lucas Mongrel punt, and fortune favours those who are in front, Dirk.
That's the Carlton forward line we're looking at. There's nobody there at all.
Well, I reckon, boys, Whitnell's now gone to the back line for the Blues, so keep an eye on that.
A little bit going on as Blumfield hits the post, scores a level.
Now Scotty Camberelli's going down to take the kick in instead of Glenn Manton. They might try and have a go here at playing on because they keep a fair distance back. Here's a good kick though, all the way to the numbers this side, to the right-hand side of screen as we look from the punt road end there.
If he has to go long, it'll be to Porter.
Well, he's got 14 players here. Yeah, there's the little play on, and try and clear it and tap it on.
Lucas in the box seat, you'd think, Carosella just chips in from the side to take the mark. Carosella called to go and then squeezes. I think McKay will get there. He's got it. Boundary throw-in, is it? The umpires are conferring.
I think this is good umpiring. That's good umpiring. Why not ask the boundary umpire, did he hold the grab on the second side?
Tell you what, they may end up winning by a big margin, but they're a bit sloppy at the moment, the Bombers. They really are. Some of their choices haven't been good. Lucas's missed kick to Blumfield was fortuitous. As I said, they may go on and win by a wide margin, but at the moment, the Blues are hanging in well. Blumfield to fall forward. Lloyd, the danger man. Well done, Carlton, to get numbers back with Houghton.
They're running on standard fuel at the moment, aren't they?
Yeah, Whitnell's gone down. Whitnell's gone down into the back 50. His opponent, Henneman, is in the middle of the ground at the centre circle. And I think he's just sitting back there. So I guess Lance's, I don't know how many touches Lance has had. He might just be after a cheap kick. He's only had the one touch.
Good kick, Camperelli. That was a really good kick. He split the centre to Massey.
He's been good tonight, Bruce, hasn't he, Massey?
Started world dipper.
4 possessions for Massey. He's done all right.
Showed a lot of faith in him. He was studying when he first went to the Carlton, and they encouraged all of that, and they want a big year out of him now. He's the right age to start to deliver. Good, well smothered by Freeborn. Lappin's been busy. As the Blues go forward through Massey and Colpert. Bit careless in the end, but he'll get away with it.
Yeah, Henneman sitting back. So they have to go short.
To Houlihan.
Fletcher coming off and Mansfield returning. Sorry, I think I've just done Dipper's job for him.
So Houlihan into the pocket. Whitnell outnumbered again. 3 Bombers flying and a boundary throw in.
That's a good sign for Carlton. Looks like Houlihan, who got on that crumb goal a few minutes ago. If Whitnell can go up and just contest against 3 Bombers who are so keen to get on the end of the ball, that's great for the ground level players of Carlton in the forward line.
Now suddenly Lloyd's the only person forward of the centre line for the Bombers as they get their numbers back.
I reckon Wayne Britton might be trying to emulate Essendon's tactics a little bit and just say, well, let's just seize the game up and see how we go till half-time. And look, we're not going to, you know, threaten the all-time score here tonight, but let's make a game of it.
Long to Mark Johnson, high tackle, free kick.
I just think if Carlton can come in at quarter time about level with the Bombers, they'll regard that as a victory.
Hurd gets it from Ramanauskas. He's impossible to keep out of the game, isn't he? Half-back flank.
He just smells it.
Centre wing. Mercury outnumbered here. Oh, did very well. The Blues will be disappointed. They had Porter front spot, McKay at the back, and he opens them up, Mercury, doesn't he? By going to Jacobs.
Barnard.
Oh, again, just a few things not happening tonight for the Bombers. High tackle, blue free kick.
I reckon Andy McKay on that last one, he actually trusted his teammate forward of Mercury to do more.
Whitnell's kick to Hickmott.
Tough player, this fella.
It was Porter, his teammate he was talking about too, Dermot. Beaumont, a target. He braced himself against Hurd, then Porter, Beaumont. Free kick to Porter. So the Blues within a point here. Uses the left foot of Beaumont. Now Beaumont chips it to Camperelli. Again, the numbers are with the Bombers.
Yeah, 4 against 3.
So good overhead, aren't they? Right across the board, the Bombers. Blumfield's a good example. Gets it to Fletcher.
Lance Whitnell across half-back for Carlton. In fact, he's picked up Matthew Lloyd, freed up Glenn Manton.
Henneman to Johnson. Jason Johnson at half-back. So we're deep into this opening term. Centre wing. Carosella a target. Barnard at the back. Masiti just doesn't get his foot to it. Hickmott worries him over the line.
And Wolsey, what do you think about that matchup between Whitnell and Lloyd. I just think Whitnell will be just too slow for Lloyd.
I think Lance will be saying, get back, Glenn, I want to get out of here.
And I think that might have happened just now.
Yeah, the cavalry ran back then.
So Manton is back there. Beaumont's little give. Well, we heard Kevin Sheedy with Andrew Marr before the game, how unhappy he was with the final quarter last week. This has been a bit ordinary by their own brilliant standards as well. So they put two together.
Yeah, they just haven't clicked over the Bombers, but, gee, they look as if they will at any minute.
Well, they kicked 3 goals in 4 minutes of this quarter. They're 3 goals they've kicked. And it looks like they may have a narrow lead at quarter time. Carlton have done well in holding them up. Herd to the line, boundary throw in.
Essendon would be happy to see Whitnell back in defence, because without Kutafidi, Silvani, Bradley, Whitnell needs to play a blinder for them to win.
I reckon, though, you go to quarter time, you say if Lance can get a couple of hands on the ball in the back half, he's not going to do any damage or danger in the Carlton forward line till the end of the quarter.
Jason Johnson, wide to Jacobs. And he's a long way out. If it was Stuart Dew last week, you'd be saying, well, maybe, but not tonight, as he tries a torpedo. Well, they're in front on points, the Bombers, by 1, 3-3 to 3-2. But I reckon the Blues are pretty happy they weren't knocked out in that opening term. I reckon they'll be very happy when they go in at quarter time. Just keep your eye out for all the big sport on 7.
C7's telecast of the 2001 AFL Premiership season